this video, I'm going to be taking you through a session of my live trading. I'm going to show you my complete process, my strategy and indicators that I use, as well as the specific trade entries, exits, the real profit and losses that I take each day, so you can basically watch and learn from my trading strategies. Okay, I've been day trading for almost 8 years now. And if you guys have been following along, you know that I've been documenting my process on YouTube for over 5 years. So these live trade videos are a series that I like to do every so often on the channel to show you the realities of executing in real trading sessions and sort of reinforce some of the concepts that we hone in on the private side of our trading team as well. We also have a team of thousands of trading team members that are learning and mastering the full intricate details of the concepts I'm going to be sharing with you in today's video. And while our private students are crushing these concepts, I'm going to continue to bring value to you guys on the YouTube side as well. And as always, one of the most requested topics is live trading. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing in today's video. I'm going to show you me getting into these trades, managing these trades, and we'll see if we can hit our daily goal of over $3,000 and see if our winning streak continues. So let's kick things off and set up our trading session and get into trying to find our first trade. Okay, so I actually have 2 monitors set up right now. I'm doing a bit of a crazy trading session here. I have futures on this side. I'm testing out this concept on a futures account. More content to come on that, so make sure that you stay tuned. If you want to be notified when I drop videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. We're going to be doing crazy big things in 2024, competitions on scaling accounts, live streaming on the Discord as well. We're going to make a big splash, so make sure that you're following along. Also, at any point in this video, make sure you like the video and share this with someone if you find it cool and you want to embark on that trading journey with your friends. It's going to help push this through the YouTube algorithm. Futures on this side, cryptocurrency on this side. So anytime I'm setting up for my trading session, I'm going to walk you through the windows first, and then I'm going to show you all of the indicators that I use. And we're going to go over this first setup here on Solana. So this morning, I'm already actually in a Solana long position here. But whenever I'm starting my session, I'm basically lining my screens up like this. So I have my exchange over here where I'm placing my orders. I have my Notion sheet here, which is basically a trade journal that will give me a sort of game plan I can follow throughout the session when I'm actually executing these trades. Whenever you're taking trades, you always want to have a process that you follow. So I have a session, a pre-session checklist. I have a during trade checklist, and then after trade checklist that I can sort of refresh and follow to make sure that I'm hitting all of my confluences, all of my points when I'm actually executing trades. Okay, so exchange, my Notion. Over here is my trading view. This is where I'm actually doing my analysis and finding all of these trade ideas. Okay, so I have that pulled up over here, and then basically I just have a watch list system over here. So what I'll do is in the morning, I'll basically flip through different pairs and I'll see which ones are kind of leading me to want to trade them for that session, and then I will put flags on them. In this situation, we have a Solana flag. So then what I can do is I can click over on this green flag and I can put this into its respective system or idea. So this is sort of how I'm building my idea flow once I have all of my monitors set up. This is in a TCL setup, so that's going to be organized into that. Then over here, I'm also trading futures. I'm taking the same exact idea and testing it out on the futures side here. All right, so I'm currently in another trade here. I already had a $400 winner. I'm floating my next open position, but you can see this is sort of a similar user interface to Bybit. Okay, so if you want to follow along with that, make sure you hit subscribe so you know when we put videos out. Okay, and I'll keep you guys posted on the updates of this process. Okay, so let's go through our session checklist. So first thing I'm going to do is check for important news. So I can click right over into the economic calendar here on TradingView, and you can see for the day, today is the 24th. We really don't have anything super crazy. Okay, we don't have anything in the US, so the impacts on the US market and the crypto market should be fairly level. We did get some volatility this morning here, but nothing crazy that's standing out to me, and that's why I was able to already get into this first trade that I have active here, and I'll explain exactly how I set this up and what I was thinking when I was getting into this. Okay, this is my 30 or 34th trade win in a row on Solana. We're not only on Solana, but on some of these pairs here, so that's good. Okay, so checking on daily bias. Now, there's a few ways you can do daily bias. We do have a daily analysis tab here on our Discord. John comes in here each day and does his bias. So overall on Bitcoin, we do have bearish daily bias for the past 2 days. So today overall could be bearish. Okay, but it's sort of interesting to note that Solana is up 2.7% opposed to the rest of these, which are up like 1.5%. It's basically outperforming most cryptocurrencies to the bullish side. So me taking a long position into this, we do have an overall bearish bias. So if we do see the market sort of sell off later today into the session, we can trend this down, but Solana did get some momentum out of the New York Open here. So we're currently trading this now to the upside. But overall, I'm going to use this daily bias here, as well as some other analysis to sort of show you what I'm thinking. Okay, so daily bias. Next thing that we're doing is checking our smart alerts here. So we have automatic trade ideas and certain criteria that you can look for in the Discord to see if there's opportunity or potential potential for opportunity. See, we had a full profit, a short automatically adjusted. Okay, but nothing coming in on our smart alerts. So we checked our smart alerts, and now I've added Solana to my watch list that I'm going to be trading for the day. Okay, so then I can go over and click into my trading session. All right, so we can see this gray zone here is going to be my New York session. So what I'm doing is marking off that and then the high here. Realistically, we have our high that was consolidated here and wicked through. So I consider this the high, which is why once we marked this consolidation zone up over this, I consider this a continuation into the direction followed sort of after that power hour in New York. Okay, so I've marked off my sessions. Okay, I like Solana's price action. Choppy wave structure, yes. Not at a current wave 5, so I'm looking for a 5-wave structure. This is 1, 2. We're sort of potentially in our 2-wave, hoping to go up to 3, 4, and then have a continuation for the day. So choppy price action in there. All my orders are set, and now all I need to do next is manage the trade. All right, so we're starting to make a nice push here off of that low here. Dip by level, we're up about $4,800. All right, so this was a nice reversal here. I'm gonna close this into strength here, right into this upper resistance zone. It may blow over it, but I'm going to take this off the table. So position off the table into strength. So once again, we had sort of the market moving up in this direction. We had our moving averages underneath it, and you'll see the price came down into those levels and sort of rebounded off of those dip buy zones and is now pushing into this high area. Now, to be honest with you, I kind of screwed up my orders here. This is kind of a little bit of a small range for Solana, but we ended out with a $4,441 win. Okay, so I'm going to go in here on the date. Okay, so today's Thursday. Now I'm basically journaling my trades. So this actually ended up running up higher. We're continuing in our current trend direction. So if this breaks another high, we'll just get in and take another trade here. This was on Solana. Another win here. Limit 2. Total win 4,416 after fees. The fees absolutely crushed me on this trade setup. Okay, also quick sneak peek. Andrew just locked in $4,100 in one single trade with a 12 risk factor setup on the day. We're actually getting a crazy pump in the market right now. So I'm going to go ahead and set up another trade here. Let's get everything finished in our journal. So we have 1.5. That was the issue with the small range. Confidence was a 2, not super great. Okay, so that's our first trade on the day. One of the bigger trades I've ever taken on a TCL because these L1 bombs don't happen often, but we're able to let that one run. All right, so we have our first full profit trade locked in. Okay, now I'm going to go through and flip to any other pairs and see if there's any good price action for the day other than Solana. Just because Solana is sort of at the top of its range here, I would love to take something else in the meantime, but I want to allow for this to sort of play out and pick a direction for the day and not just be these crazy up and down chop candles. So this is our high and low of the New York zone. We broke below that zone, so it looks like we already could be in a current short trade here, but we're not. All right, so for both of these pairs, I really want to see one of these two directions on the day after this New York range sort of broken into and trended into so that we can start to play some continuations. So I have Sol and ETH marked off. Now I'm basically just going to set up alerts above and below these zones. And now essentially I'm just going to wait for either one of these pairs to break into this session. I'll wait for an alert to be triggered, and then we'll set up our second trade on the day, hopefully. But for now, I'm going to do some analysis on my futures and see if I can set up a TCL on the futures. I'll grab a coffee and we'll get into trade number 2. All right, so out of our 2 trades for the day, we were watching Ethereum as well. We never really broke out of any sort of range or broke into any range. So this is sort of directionless chop, which is not what I'm looking to trade. However, Solana here has once again chipped away at this high and is sort of running into the end of the New York session. It's about 3 o'clock right now. If we get a little bit more of a push here, I'm okay with taking a bit of a long here. All right, to me, this looks like we could break out to the upside for one more run. All right, sort of additionally, if we have a 5-wave setting up here, we could run up to this 178 zone. However, if we do look at a larger time frame, so I go up to a 15-minute time frame, you can see we have sort of our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave set up here. So I usually try to avoid getting in trades when we're already up near the top of the overall structure, because the next reversal area, if this is to come up and hit this 5-wave, is probably going to come down and break somewhere below here, right around this level. So that's going to break, in which case the this is going to potentially change the direction of the trend that I'm trading in here. So I'm going to sort of stay away from that for now. Let Solana pump itself. All right, so if we look at ETH, we are running along these highs here. If Ethereum wants to make a clean break of this level, right, I'm okay with taking longs above this. Okay, so something inside this range I would like to do on ETH. Okay, so we're starting to get a break here on ETH. I'm sure Sol is probably ripping highs here. Okay, so we're starting to push up highs here. So once again, reason I like this is because we were forming this sort of downtrend. This is the first example of us breaking to a new direction. So this leads me to believe that any pullback we get will be met with some sort of support, which allow us to take a long position somewhere on this trend. All right, so in case this price wants to come down now to this level, which would be my entry, it looks like we might catch support here beforehand, right? But if it wants to slice down into my entry, I'm setting up my orders right here. All right, so while we're waiting for ETH to finish up, you can see right at that exact expected high of 5, we have a macro reaction on Sol. So this is probably going to be the temporary top of this entire Sol move. So I'm going to set an alert at the high of this sort of 3 level. So if this does want to come down and slice through this, I'll look to potentially be able to take an entry into here and play this down. We've been running for the past several days, and so I like this macro setup. We could hopefully get in on some sort of micro play and play a big move down. I haven't been really focusing on these types of trades, but if I can get a really big risk reward, I'm gonna go for like a big gain on this. So that's sort of my game plan. But expected profit up here got reacted off of specifically, but just goes to show you the power of Elliott wave theory that we did get the reaction off of that level. So that's good. All right, so still moving up here on Ethereum. All right, so all I'm really doing now is trailing my order up, but what I love to see is the fact that this is broken above. So if we do retest now the overside on this trend, this is going to be right into our entry for a continuation later into the day. And you can see I don't really care about the correlation because now we're starting to dump off of that level for Sol that we were predicting. And so I'm really caring more about the overall movement on ETH. ETH seems to be marching to the beat of its own drum. So it's individually moving. I will play a long into support onto this level for the second trade of the day. So we're going to see if this can come down and fill us now. I'm going to get my orders set up. So expected profit will be about $1,300 on this trade if we are to get filled. So I'm submitting that first order. I'm not going to go ahead and submit the rest of the orders because I want to make sure that we're actually going to get the price to come down. So I'll start setting them if we're able to reach that level. But for now, I'm just going to wait and see when this sort of trend wants to start finishing developing. It looks like we have 1, 2, this is 3, maybe move down to 4 will also get us near that entry up to 5. So we'll see if this comes to fruition, see if we get the pullback on entry and take second trade of the day. All right, so price is starting to come down a little bit near our entry zone. All right, so I'm submitting my last buy order in here. All right, so realistically, I just want this zone to be hit and then get some sort of response off of that. So I have my orders set. All I'm going to do is set an alert here if it is to break this high, in which case I'll have to adjust my order. And then if it gets me filled, I'll also be notified. And now I can basically step away from the charts. All right, so now we just have to wait. All right, so just as expected here on our Ethereum move, right? As soon as we broke over this trend line, this is exactly where I knew that we would potentially see bullish behavior. So entry aligning right on the top of this support level. Okay, you can say what you want about support and resistance, but we got our beautiful reaction level off of here. We're able to break over this high nice and clean and then up to full take profit. I took profit off a little bit early here just because what happens a lot of the times is we'll get these big moves and then we'll end up trailing sideways and I'll be in the trade until like 10 p.m. So if I get a nice initial move, I don't want to be sitting in the trade too long. So I didn't know that this would end up pumping as hard as it did. Would have gone to full profit, but still was able to lock in $928. All right, so I'm just sort of inputting my other data here. I got another trade lined up on Solana here that I want to catch as well. So I'm just filling out my information. All right, so overall, everything turning a little bit more bullish. So we did have a clean break over these highs, sort of through that anticipated 5 level, starting to push highs again. So if we get a little pullback down into this previous resistance level as support, I think it's going to come beautifully into our entry level here. So I'm going to try to take some buys into here, get a profit up to here, and then underneath this overall trend, if it wants to break down this, should be able to get support. If it breaks it, we'll probably underside retest, hopefully into our dip buy. So both of my entries here will be above this overall uptrend, which would be good. So hopefully we can get some buys in, get some sort of pullback on Sol to take our third trade on the day. Right now, now up 5,300 on the day. So one of the bigger days. Normally the goal for the day is about 3,000 to 4,000. So we're over our daily goal. So if we can hit one more trade, we'll be really good. So realistically, what I'm going to do now is set an alert at this high as well as an alert here so that I know to check back. I'm going to input my first order, right? I'll set these other orders as soon as I'm in on the first one. Otherwise, if it prints a high, I'll adjust everything and then set it up beautifully. But right now I'm in a back testing session with Andrew as well. We're doing a bar replay on a future system where we can literally make 20 risk factors in a single day. So I'm sure we're going to be bringing that to you guys really, really soon. We're already talking about it a little bit on the private side of our trading team. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and like this video if you want to stay up to date with that. So let's set these orders up. I'm going to continue back testing and we'll see how trade 3 comes to fruition for our day. All right, so price broke a little higher than I was expecting on Solana here. So I have some support levels drawn off here. We have all of our moving averages moving simultaneously. So I'm expecting some sort of cutback into this area and hopefully a continuation to continue moving higher. So it looks like we should come back and fill our entry pretty soon right here if we do end up coming down. All right, so we are in long here at 178.15. So I'm going to see where we start to catch some support. I'm guessing that this level will be pretty important right into this dip buy as the high of this range and into this pocket as well, some resistance. So if we don't end up just reversing here and continuing, then we will come down lower. Then I will show you guys how we DCA. Basically, if the price fills our secondary dip level, our average goes up to here, and then we'll just sort of scale out like this. We're still going to shoot for that macro take profit, see where this trade ends up going. So I just closed the trade out into some strength here that we got. So this ended up pulling back, into our limit order, into this consolidation zone that we had sort of drawn out here. I wasn't super interested in waiting in this, chop around sideways and do this the rest of the night. There's a high chance that this will come to full profit here, but after all said and done, I got out for basically flat on this trade. I actually lost $5 technically after slippage, which sometimes is going to happen. So I was hoping that price would come up to hit this level and then at least get me out inside here, but it looks like we kind of just missed getting filled in here. So I don't really want to hang out in this trade too much. It's already 7:30, 7:45 basically right now. So I'm pretty much done trading for the day. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and input my trade information, -$5 after fees. Next thing that I'm going to do is basically go into my post session review time here and just go into looking over the trades, making sure that we have all of our screenshots input and then add any notes for improvement. I've been doing bar replay test session on a new strategy. Actually, I'll put some screenshots right here where basically we're having individual sessions where we're getting 15, 20 risk factors. So say for example, you're risking $100, that's $2,000 in profit. And I'm doing this in real time. I'll probably have something in the Discord relatively soon to talk about this on the public side. So check out the Discord and you can wait for some of those notifications. But anyways, I want to go through and just sort of review over what we did today. Okay, so in general today, this is what sort of the overall cryptocurrency market did. We had these highs being broken out of. Today, we sort of caught over on this support level here and had a little bit of momentum to this side. So I was okay with coming here into Solana, looking for this to sort of have a pullback and then a continuation into these levels, which is exactly what we did. Once again, I screwed up the orders a little bit with sizing and everything, but we ended up holding through, came down pretty close to our stop loss actually, and then reversed back up. This may be one of my biggest TCL trades actually in general. So $4,441 on the day for that position, which was excellent. So I'm going to go ahead and screenshot that. Anything that I could have done better, obviously not screwing up the position sizing here. We had choppy price action, wasn't on any fifth wave, so it was mid-trend. Moving averages were all aligned. So basically followed all of the rules. So I'm going to rate this as all right. We're going to take a screenshot. I'm going to open up this trade, just drag that screenshot right in there. All right, so you'll notice if I flip over to a gallery view, that will then pull up my trade idea here. So I can sort of get a snapshot look at all of those trades. All right, so on this ETH trade, right, was sort of trending down. We got some momentum in the day. We swept this low, so sort of pricked through here, didn't get a close, closed above it, started trending higher. So I knew we could get a pretty decent sized reversal if we did see this. So then we drew our trend line, got resistance, a break up through. We knew that we would get some sort of level of support here, which we did. On this trade, I took the profit off early, but you know what? I'm okay with doing that because once again, I don't want to be sitting in trades all day if it were to do this. Like imagine if this were to fail and continue to be chopping around, I'd still be in the same trade and it would take way too long. If I get that initial initial reaction, it's good. We collect our profit and we keep it moving, right? So choppy price action, good analysis, overside, underside. This price was going to retest the trend break before contacting the stop loss, which is something that has kept my win rate extremely high on this system. Okay, so beautiful full profit here, and we closed out $928 on this trade. I would say overall good practices, nothing bad to say. And what I'm doing over here too is I'm keeping all of my analysis, right? So I can get rid of like the session highs, any sort of like range detectors like this. And then I'll basically just label the type of trade, the date, and then the number in the order in which I took it on the day. So I can basically just toggle on my analysis and go back and look at what I did. This trade example still sort of prying at the full take profit, so I'm glad we took the trade off early. This was a little bit overextended. Not the best trade, honestly. Choppy price action, but what I will say is that we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so one of my rules, if you guys remember, is to avoid getting in at the high of 5s, right? And so if you kind of look, if I shoot my fib projection off of this initial push up here, we did get a perfect contact point off of this 261.8 pull down and then full contact into 361.8 before having a reversal. So I try to avoid doing that at all costs. I didn't really see that this was the case until now. So I would say definitely takeaway is to watch out for the fifth waves a little bit. So not the best trade. Screenshotting this. Do not long into 5 waves. Okay, that's the note on that. All right, and so ending off the day, we were up $5,300 in a single trading session. Okay, I think this brings me up to my 35th win in a row doing this analysis. I am going to be focusing on different trading strategies. I just wanted to make sure that I dialed this one in. I'm going to keep trading it, but like I said, I'm also going to be integrating other trading strategies as well. We got big things coming for the end of 2024 into 2025. I know some of you guys have issues getting access to the crypto exchanges depending on where you live. So if we move over into something with futures, I'm going to try to get you guys crazy deal with futures markets. Also have some collaboration with TradeZella potentially in the works so that moving forward we can have tight journals, new systems, high risk reward, and people continuing to absolutely hit bangers and create income generating machines for themselves, like what we're seeing on the private side of our trading team, hopefully with you guys taking things that you learned from these videos. Okay, if you're still here, make sure you hit the like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to know when I put these videos out. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. If you want access to all of my trade tools as well as my trading view layout, okay, my Instagram is in the description. Go ahead and follow Craig_Prococo and then DM me tools and I'll have that automatically sent over to you guys so you can add it to your charts and start playing around with these concepts. Check out these videos if you want more examples of how to take these trades and how exactly it works. But until next time, I will see you all in the next one.